Hello students, welcome to the new lecture, and in this lecture we are going to discuss about respiration in plants, okay, conduction within the plants, aerial roots, carbon dioxide evolved during the respiration or in the respiration, and heat evolved during the respiration, and photosynthesis versus respiration. Okay, so now let us start about the discussion now with the first topic, that is respiration in plants. So even the respiration is also going to occur in the plants. So why? Because during the night time, so in the daytime, so what you will see in the daytime, the plants has a light, okay, plant has a sunlight, so as a result they are going to perform the photosynthesis. So in the photosynthesis we know that the energy is produced, that energy will be stored in the plant body, okay. So energy, some amount of energy is utilized on the spot, so by the plant, so there is no problem. So what happens if the night time, so what happens in the night time? So in the night time there is no sunlight. So if the sunlight is not there, what it is going to do, it is going to perform the respiration, okay, it is going to perform the cellular respiration. So during the cellular respiration, so the glucose, the oxygen is taken into the plant body. Glucose will be combined with oxygen to produce the energy, carbon dioxide and also water, okay. So the question now here is how these oxygen molecules are taken in and carbon dioxide molecules will be released out. So carbon dioxide is released, why? Because in the cellular respiration the carbon dioxide is one of the product, okay. So that is the main thing. So how it is produced? So the answer is this. So the plants are going to exchange the gases. Which gases? Oxygen and also carbon dioxide. They are going to exchange these gases through the stomata. So what is meant by stomata? So let us take, this is the leaf. Okay, in the leaf on the downside, okay, you will see some spaces. Okay, let us observe and zoom in this area. Okay, this is the bottom side of the leaf, and you can see such kind of holes and pores here. So these are covered with loose tissue, okay. So these loose tissue are present. So this is the bottom side of the leaf, and there is a exchanging of the gases through the stomata, okay. The carbon dioxide is taken into the stomata during the sunlight or during the daytime, and in the night time the oxygen is taken in, okay. Why? Because there is no sunlight, energy has to be released, so this process is going to occur. So not only that, not only through the stomata, but also there are some other important organs in the plant, that is nothing but the surface of the roots. The roots also going to take air. So how the roots are going to take air? Let us consider this is the plant, okay. These are the root system. So we know that the ground contains soil. The soil also containing some spaces. These spaces are known as soil spaces or air spaces in the soil. So these soil containing air, and air contains oxygen also, okay. So the oxygen is taken into the roots of this plant, okay. As a result, the plant is going to take the oxygen from the soil through the roots or root hairs and so on. So lenticels on the stem. Lenticels are nothing but these are the specialized structures. So let us consider this is the stem. So this is the stem of the plant or a tree. So on the stem you can see small holes or small bulging appearances, okay. Such kind of bulging appearances are known as lenticels. In the textbook you can see the lenticels image clearly, and these lenticels main important function is they are going to help in the exchanging of the gases, okay. They are going to take the carbon dioxide into the stem, and during the depending upon the condition, whether it may be daytime or night time. So in the night time what they are going to do, they are going to take oxygen into the stem, and they are going to perform photosynthesis. They are going to perform cellular respiration in the night time, okay. So these plants have specialized structures and also for the gases exchange. So in some plants we can see the aerial roots. So what is meant by aerial roots? Aerial, the term aerial refers to the air. Roots means the organ that is present in the plant. So these roots are present in the air. How it is possible? So let us consider this is the ground, okay, and this is the root system of the plant, and this is the stem, okay. So this is the stem. So what it is going to do, this water, this land is covered with the water, okay. This land is covered with the water, and hence in the previous just a moment ago we have discussed the soil contains air spaces. But in this condition, so when the land is covered with the water, so there is no air, so there is no oxygen in the soil. Why? Because there is no proper air in the soil. So as what these plants are going to do, these plants are going to grow the roots outside of the land and outside of the water surfaces. Okay, so such kind of roots are known as aerial roots. So these roots are coming out of the ground and coming out of the water, and they are appearing on the surface of the water. So these roots are known as aerial roots. So such kind of roots is seen in mangroves. Okay, it's a region where the land is covered with water. These plants are known as mangrove plants. So these such kind of plants can be seen over there in that condition. So not only that, the tissues in orchids, they have such kind of specialization structures. Okay, so they are going to help in the exchanging of the gases. Okay, next is oxygen is also required for the plant to produce energy during the cellular respiration. Just now we have discussed, in the absence of sunlight, in the absence of photosynthesis, there is no production of the energy. Hence the plants has to depend on the cellular respiration, where the consumption of glucose plus oxygen to produce energy, and carbon dioxide and plus water. So this energy will be utilized by the plant. Why? Because the plant has to survive. Okay, irrespective of daytime and nighttime, the plant has to survive, so that they are going to do photosynthesis or respiration depending upon the condition of the day. Okay, and next is the conduction within the plants. So in the what is meant by conduction? Conduction means how the gases are carried, from the atmosphere into the sites of the cellular respiration or the sites of the photosynthesis. That is the explanation of this side heading, conduction within the plants. So how the gases are conducted inside the plant. Okay, first, as we come to the first point, the stomata forms the continuous network all over the plants. So here, just now we have seen the stomata that is present in the leaf. The main myth in the students is all the students think that, not all, most of the students will think that the stomata are present in the leaves only, but it is not true. The stomata is present in the young stems, in the young tissues also. Okay, so these stomata are going to form a connective tissue. Okay, connective network of the tissue of the plant. So as a result, there is air spaces. The air spaces in these leaves, wherever there is a stomata, there will be larger air spaces. Okay, if the air spaces are larger in the region of the stomata, so there will be maximum rate of the exchanging of the gases or conduction of the gases. Okay, so and remaining other parts, like if you take the stem, okay, stem containing lenticels or the roots carrying the gases, like the roots that will absorb the gases which is present in the soil, they have the less air spaces. Okay, the stem has the stomata which is present in the leaves. It is going to help in the photosynthesis and is going to majorly help in the cellular respiration. So there will be larger air spaces in the stomata or the region where there is a stomata. Okay, and next the air spaces are linked with water. Oxygen is dissolved in it and passed to the porous cell walls in the cytoplasm. So if you see here, so this is the stomata. Okay, this is the stomata. So the cells of the stomata that is lined over here in this way. Okay, this is transfer section of the leaf. Okay, so in here what is happening, these stomata are guarded by the guard cells. These are the guard cells. Okay, so the air first enters into it, and the tissue that you can see here, the cells are present in this way, and between the cells what you can see, the intercellular spaces. Okay, so lined with water, the spaces are the air spaces that is lined with water. So there is a small water layer over here. So in this water layer, what you can see, the oxygen will get dissolved in this water layer, and as a result this water layer is going to carry the dissolved oxygen to the cells. Okay, the cells is going to receive the oxygen into it. Okay, as a result there will be a cellular respiration in the cells. Okay, cellular respiration in the cells. Why? Because they have received oxygen through this. Okay, so and water with the liberation of energy, so it is performed. So let us take the inside structure of the cell. So the water layer is present. Okay, so this water layer has dissolved the oxygen. This oxygen is taken into the cell. Okay, so the cellular respiration, the cellular respiration is performed. As a result, energy plus carbon dioxide is also released. So now this carbon dioxide is useless for the cell. It has to be removed out of the plant. How it is going to do? The same process as the oxygen entered into the cell, in the same way the carbon dioxide is also exit the cell into the environment. So again the carbon dioxide is going to dissolve into the water layer that is present in the cell or around the cell, and it will come out. And here you can see the carbon is same, it escapes out of the stomata. Okay, so by this way you can see how the egg gases are exchanged. Okay, the air spaces are lined with water. These water is going to absorb the gases like carbon dioxide and oxygen, and helping in the cellular respiration. At the end, the carbon dioxide will be removed in the same process as the oxygen entered in. Okay, so there will be a gradient will be generated. What is meant by gradient? So in this case, after cellular respiration, the carbon dioxide will be higher. Okay, the oxygen will be lower. So this is a gradient. Okay, the differences in the concentration. So the differences in the concentration of oxygen and carbon dioxide will be created in the cells. Okay, as a result they will get exchanged. Okay, they will get exchanged from the cell into the spaces, from the cell into the spaces, from the spaces into the stomata, through the stomata into the outside. Okay, so this is a main important point over here. The gradient is developed between the cells and air spaces. Okay, between the cells and air spaces. This is first point. And next is similarly the same gradient is developed between the air spaces and the environment. So this is the air space and this is the environment. Okay, so this is the second. So first from the between the cells and air spaces, this is the first exchange, and second exchange is from the air spaces to the environment. So by this way the gradient will be developed, and with the help of this gradient the gases will get exchanged. Okay, so air spaces and environment outside the stomata. So the carbon dioxide is passed out into the air spaces by the same method in the reverse direction also. As oxygen entered into the cells, in the same way the carbon dioxide is also going to exit the cells into the environment. Okay, this system works by the diffusion. So what is meant by diffusion? Okay, the moment of diffusion means the concentration. Okay, the concentration, or let us take the example, this is the room. Okay, so here we have released the scent. Okay, the scent is released at one corner of the room, and after some time the scent molecules are going to get dispersed all over the room. Okay, this is known as diffusion. The movement of molecules from the lower concentrations or from the higher concentrations to the lower concentration. Here at this corner there is a higher concentration of the gases like scent molecules. Here will be the lower concentration. Okay, so these molecules are moving from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. This is known as diffusion. Okay, osmosis means it is a little bit different. Okay, so in the same way as you see the concept over here, the same process will be seen over there depending upon the concentrations of oxygen and carbon dioxide. So the whole system is going to work by the diffusion process. Okay, next is the aerial roots. Just now we have discussed aerial roots that are going to come out of the ground and come out of the water layer. So as a result these roots are going to perform these roots are going to help in the exchanging of the gases. So the plants can aerate the gases through the lenticels or the root hairs from the spaces in the soil. So for example, if you take the stem, okay, let us consider this a stem or the stem of the plant. So what is happening? So on the stem you can see the small elevations, tissues elevated on the stem. Okay, on the other side. So these tissues are helping in the exchanging of the gases like carbon dioxide, oxygen, and so on. Okay, they are helping in the exchanging of the gases. So not only the lenticels but also the root hairs. These root hairs also going to help in the exchanging of the gases. Okay, so next, root hairs absorb the oxygen that is present in the soil spaces. Soil spaces means the air that is present between the soil particles. Okay, this is the air. This is the air that is present between the soil particles, that is known as soil air spaces or soil spaces. Okay, the plants in waterlogged conditions or marshy soil and wet soil, they have the very less amount of the air spaces in the soil. As a result the roots don't get any proper air. So as a result there is only one choice, that is nothing but adaptation to the aerial roots. So the aerial roots will get developed, and these aerial roots helps in the exchanging of the gases. Example, mangrove trees. So these mangrove trees especially, they will grow near to the area wherever there is a waterlogged condition. Okay, next is that the aerial roots that grows above the soil is taken in oxygen for the respiration. So again, the oxygen, whether maybe it is taken from the stomata that is present in the leaves, or the oxygen that may be taken from the root hairs or roots, the purpose is only one thing. That purpose is performing the cellular respiration. Okay, so these species of the plants adapted to have the hollow stem for the better conduction of the gases. Hollow stem means the stem has the empty spaces. So these empty spaces are going to carry the gases. So this is one of the adaptation to the plants where they are going to live in the waterlogged areas or marshy soils or the wet soils. Okay, and next the activity 3. In this activity 3, we have to show that the carbon dioxide is evolved during the respiration. So this experiment is very easy. So for first we have to take the seeds. Okay, so you can take the moong dal seeds or horse gram or any seeds. So you have to take a handful of the seeds. We have to soak it in the beaker containing water for 1 day, okay, before the experiment. So after that, remove the seeds and cover it in the kerchief, okay, or any towel. So cover it in the kerchief, and in the next day you can see after a one night around 8 hours or 10 hours, the seeds are going to germinate. So what is meant by germination? So you can see the radicle and plumule. So radicle and plumule will be seen. So this is known as germination. You don't find such kind of huge germination, just you will see such kind of small growth. Okay, small growth of the seeds will be seen. So these are known as sprouts, or you can call it as a germinating seeds. Okay, so the seeds have germinated. So next what you have to take, you have to take the flask, okay, or glass jar. So this glass jar is taken, and we have to put one beaker containing the lime water. Okay, this lime water we have discussed in the previous classes also. This lime water is going to react with carbon dioxide to give white PPT or white precipitation. Okay, so this white precipitation is produced after reacting with carbon dioxide. So the question is where the carbon dioxide is coming from. You have closed the jar. Okay, the sprouts has placed inside the glass jar, and along with the beaker with lime solution, and close the bottle with the lid tightly. So these cells are germinating seeds, and they have the living tissue. So the living tissue, they are going to perform the cellular respiration, or you can call it as a respiration. So in the cellular respiration, what is going to occur? So the glucose that is already present in the seeds, they are going to perform cellular respiration. Glucose plus oxygen is going to react together to form a cellular respiration. As a result, you will see the energy production plus carbon dioxide plus water. Okay, this carbon dioxide is most important. Why? Because this is an indication for the whether the respiration is occurring or not. So the carbon dioxide which is released by the sprouts, what it is going to do? It is going to react with the lime water. So to give this appearances, or to give this equation that is known as milky white precipitation. Okay, so we can confirm that the carbon dioxide is evolved during the respiration. Why? Because these living tissue, living seeds will perform the cellular respiration. So this is one set. So we have to do the another set also. In another set, we have to take the same beaker. Okay, so same beaker we have to put dry seeds. Okay, so without any germinating seeds. So the seeds which are inactive, why? Because they are not germinating seeds. So the same beaker with the lime solution. So if you keep it for 1 or 2 days, so after 2 days you can see the milky white appearances, but in this beaker you don't find any milky white appearances. Why? Because these seeds are inactive, they are not germinating seeds. So hence they will not release carbon dioxide. So hence the result will not shown. Result is not shown. So based on these two sets and experiments on these two sets, we can confirm that. So these tissue are the cellular respiration. During the cellular respiration, the carbon dioxide is released. Okay, so this is about the experiment. And next is the activity 4. And this activity 4 is we have to show that the temperature is increased. So in the previous lesson also we have shown that during the cellular respiration, so what you have seen, so the combustion of the glucose. So during the combustion of the glucose, what we have seen, there is a release of the heat. Okay, the heat energy will be released during the combustion of the glucose. So this heat energy we have to show in this experiment. How we will show? So in the previous experiment we have taken the sprouts or germinating seeds. So we have to carefully take out these sprouts and we have to transfer it to the thermos flask. Okay, thermos flask will be taken, and inside the thermos flask, okay, what you have to do, we have to put these seeds. Okay, the germinating seeds will be kept over here, and we should not put any lime solution over here, just fill the seeds up to some extent. Okay, next, the insert thermometer into the sprouts. Okay, so the thermometer should be inside the sprouts, and there should be contact with the sprouts and the thermometer bulb. Okay, the bulb means that here you can see the tip of the thermometer. Okay, so this is the setup is done, and we have to close the lid completely and through the rubber cork, and we have to wait for 24 hours. Okay, for every 2 hours we have to record the temperature. So how much temperature is increasing in the thermometer. So why the temperature increases? Why? Because in the previous lesson in the previous classes we have studied that the heat will be generated while the glucose is burnt. Okay, here the glucose is being burnt over here also. So as a result the temperature increases. This temperature is monitored with the help of the thermometer. Every 2 hours we have to take the reading. So reading of the thermometer. So we have to take a graph. We have to put the time over here, the time, and also temperature on the x-axis, time on the y-axis, or you can do in the reverse direction also. Okay, no problem, the graph will be correct. Okay, so if you plot the values, the graph looks in this way. Okay, the graph looks in this way. So you can make the graph by using your observations and so on. Okay, so there is few questions. The first question is there any increasing in the temperature? Yes, there will be increasing in the temperature. Why? Because there is a cellular respiration. In the cellular respiration the glucose molecules are burnt. So when the glucose molecules are burnt, there will be a releasing of the heat energy along with carbon dioxide. Okay, so does the temperature increase steadily or does it abrupt increase at the time? So that is, the temperature increases steadily, not sudden increase. The steadily 2 degrees by 2 degrees, 2 degrees by 2 degrees, or 1 degree by 1 degree. So there will be completely increasing in the temperature. So this is one of the reason we will get the graph in this way. Okay, so next, where does the heat come from? The heat is coming from the sprouts. Why? Because these sprouts are doing the cellular respiration or the respiration process. Okay, so next is the photosynthesis versus respiration. Okay, so here in this topic we are going to discuss about the differences between the photosynthesis and also respiration. So in the photosynthesis we can see, in the photosynthesis there is a series of the complex steps. So this after the series of the complex steps we can see there is a liberation of the sugars or glucose. So from the carbon dioxide, it means the carbon dioxide is utilized for the production of the glucose molecules. Okay, so most of the people thinking that the whatever the oxygen they are getting, okay, whatever the oxygen they are getting, they are thinking that students, the oxygen is coming from the carbon dioxide. So it is not true. The oxygen that we breathe is coming from the photolysis of the water, that is H2O. Okay, so the glucose molecules contains carbons. These carbons are coming from the carbon dioxide. Okay, so the photosynthesis is an anabolic process that occurs in the chloroplast. So first of all, we have to see what is meant by anabolic process and what is catabolic process. Okay, first of all, metabolism. Metabolism means body functions. Okay, metabolic process. So metabolic process is a sum of anabolic, okay, so anabolic and catabolic reactions. So what is the anabolic? In the anabolic reaction there is a building, okay, build up process or building process known as anabolic process. Example, you can take in the photosynthesis you can see the carbon dioxide molecules, water molecules are utilized to produce the sugars. Okay, can you see the sugars are produced over here? Yes, the sugars are produced over here. Hence the photosynthesis. The photosynthesis is a anabolic process. Okay, so what is catabolic process? It is a breakdown. Okay, the breakdown process or destructive process is known as catabolic reactions. So example, you can see the respiratory system or respiratory process. Here the same glucose molecule is utilized to produce energy by breakdown. Okay, these glucose molecules that you can see over here is combining with the oxygen to breaking down or to break down. So hence the glucose molecule is broken down into energy, water, and also carbon dioxide. So such kind of breakdown process is known as catabolic process. Okay, so this is only the difference between anabolic and catabolic reactions. In the catabolic reaction, you can take the example of respiration. Okay, respiration process. Okay, so next, so the photosynthesis is an anabolic process that occurs in the chloroplast. So we have seen the cells contains chloroplast also. The chloroplast is an organelle. The chloroplast contains chlorophyll. Okay. So in the chlorophyll, there is a chemical reaction that is going on to produce the glucose molecules. Okay. In this reaction, you can see. So this is just a skeleton reaction. That is, carbon dioxide is utilized along carbon dioxide water molecules along with the light energy, and also chlorophyll is utilized for the production of the sugars. Okay, so the actual chemical name of the sugar is, the chemical composition of the sugar is C6H12O6. So you have to balance the equation. So in this case here there is only one carbon dioxide molecule, so we have to increase to 6 molecules of the carbon dioxide, and 12 molecules of the water molecule is combined to generate C6H12O6. Okay, this is a sugar. Place along with the sugar, we can see the production of the water molecules and also oxygen. We know that this oxygen is released into the outside the environment, or into the environment. Okay, so this is about the photosynthesis. So the produced sugars are used for the process of the respiration to provide energy to run all the life forms and the life process. You see here what they are saying. So this energy, whatever the energy is produced by the plants, so that energy is utilized for the cellular respiration. Cellular respiration, whether may be in the plants. Okay, we just now we have discussed the plants are going to do the respiratory process also. Okay, so not only plants, so the glucose molecules, okay, which is produced by the plants. Okay, so these glucose molecules is utilized in plants and animals to produce the energy. So this energy is essential for all organisms to live in this planet. Okay, so we are depending upon the plants. Okay, whether we may be eating the meat or eggs, milk, and so on. So it is directly, we are directly depending upon the plants. Okay, so if you consume directly vegetables, so you are directly depending. If you eat the meat, egg, and also milk, that is indirectly depending upon the plants. Okay, so here the respiration is a catabolic process. Just now we have discussed how the respiration is catabolic process. Why? Because here the breakdown of the food material is seen in this reaction or in this chemical equation. So the respiration is a catabolic process to produce the chemical energy or potential energy. So that it is utilized, this chemical energy or potential energy is utilized for the metabolic functions or the important functions in the body to live, to be in a living condition. Okay, so next is the photosynthesis and respiration are opposite reactions. Why they are opposite reactions? Why? Because in one step, here there is a generation or production of the glucose molecules. Here will be the consumption of the glucose molecules. Hence these reactions are opposite in direction. So whether it may be opposite direction, but there is a different biochemical pathways, but essential for the plant metabolism, not only plant but also animals. So the photosynthesis occurs in the chloroplast to produce the sugar. So chloroplast is an organelle. The chloroplast contains chlorophyll. So there will be excitation of the chlorophyll molecules to produce energy and so on, that we have discussed in the first chapter, mechanism of the photosynthesis. Okay. So here the cellular respiration occurs in mitochondria to produce a chemical energy. So what is chemical energy? The sugars. So these sugars are burnt, and as a result, when the sugars are burnt, they are going to release the they are going to release the energy like ATP molecules. Okay, so here the force is usually higher than the rate, higher than that of the respiration, while at night time it is just reverse in the most of the plants. So in the daytime, so what you can see, there is more amount of the photosynthesis. Okay, so in the night time, there will be a respiration, the cellular respiration. Okay, so the respiration is not as much as high as a photosynthesis, but it is up to some extent it is high. Okay, it is not as much high as a photosynthesis. Okay, but little bit less when compared to the photosynthesis. Respiration is a little bit less when compared to the photosynthesis in the plants. Okay. So next, some factors affect the rate of the photosynthesis and also rate of the respiration. For example, temperature, humidity, light, etc. For example, in the summer season, the plants will not do the photosynthesis. Why? Because in the especially in the afternoon, especially in the afternoon in the summer seasons, there will be more amount of the sunlight. If the more amount of the sunlight is there, so to protect the leaf from the sunlight, so these chlorophyll molecules are going to move on the opposite side. So hence there is no photosynthesis. And also to save the water in the huge bright sunlight, if the sunlight is very very bright, so the stomata way is going to get closed. So as a result, there is no photosynthesis in the very very bright sunlight in the especially in the summer season. So not only that, the humidity, if the water vapor is more, it is also going to alter the rate of the photosynthesis. Light also rate of the photosynthesis, and so on. So these all are the factors. These factors are going to interfere with the photosynthesis and also the respiration. Okay, so these are the main important factors. Okay, and I hope this lecture is helpful to you, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel so that you will get notifications on new lesson uploads or when this class is going to start. And like the video, share and comment. You can ask your questions or doubt in the comment section so that we will answer, and you can clarify your doubts in the comment section. Okay, and in the next lecture we are going to start another chapter, that is chapter 3, the transportation. Okay, so and we will see you in the next lecture. Okay.